Well, Sue, thank you for taking time to chat with me here, and also for our readers at My Africa magazine. We're all excited about what you did with this novel, and I was going to call you
Oh, thank you.
the Jonasi creator.
Yeah,
You
people
sh
are calling me Jonas's mom now.
Oh my goodness!
Like, mother of Jonasi. That's what I'm now being known as.
Oh my goodness! I
Yeah.
mean, it's an amazing production.
Thank you so much.
Speaking from for my background as a filmmaker, I totally
Hmm.
enjoyed everything. The casting that these guys did for this was amazing. It was brilliant. But let's
Mm,
begin. This started as your debutant novel, which
hmm.
later on then evolved into this Netflix adaptation. When you
Mm.
started writing this story, uh, did you ever imagine that it will get to this stage of attraction that it has received?
No,
Yeah,
no. Yeah, I never, I didn't imagine this part. No, definitely
mm.
not. This part has come as a surprise. This is the plot twist, you know?
Yeah.
This is the plot twist.
This is
Yeah.
the plot twist.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah, yeah.
the amazing stuff is it explores a lot of things around love, marriage, tradition,
Mm,
power
mm,
dynamics, and
mm,
the whole complexities around modern
mm.
relationships, which was
Relationships.
amazing.
Mm,
How modernized it did bring it out in terms of the young, relationship with the older guy and stuff like that. Even the young
mm.
generations trying to find love, but because they're fighting with these, Jonas's, they then
Yes.
caught in between. So, what really inspired you to center around this story on polygamy and then the deeper truth in our societies?
So initially when I started working around circa 2001,
Mhm.
I moved from my hometown, Bulawayo, which is very
Mhm.
conservative. Um,
Mhm.
and I moved to the capital city of Harare.
Mhm.
And so polygamy, I wasn't a stranger to polygamy. My
Mhm.
maternal grandfather is a polygamist,
Right.
and he had five wives. So initially,
Wow.
I only knew him having four wives, but I discovered there was actually a fifth one. It's just that there
Oh,
was one in the
wow.
middle who never had children. So
Right.
I think because of that, she was kind of wasn't like a wife because you know how our culture gives credence
Yeah.
only to people when you give
Yeah.
birth. So he
Yeah.
had five wives.
Mhm.
So I understood that traditional kind of polygamy
Mhm.
because it was very transparent, it was open. None of
Mhm.
my grandfather's wives were hidden, and they all lived together on a farm,
Wow.
so on one
Wow.
homestead. So
Yeah.
yeah, so so that kind of polygamy for me was, familiar. And my
Yeah.
grandmother was the first wife. And I remember even asking her, I mean, how was it like, for you? And she
Mm.
said to me, look, there were more hands to do the work. That's what is exactly so, you know, you can take that in whatever way you want to take it as in
Right.
work. That's emotional labor, physical, yeah.
It's
So
everyone.
that kind of polygamy I understood. But the
Mm.
polygamy I was seeing was the perverted kind of polygamy because
Right.
a man would say he's monogamous, but he would have another
Right.
wife hidden
Mhm.
somewhere.
Mhm.
So this was like underground polygamy, secret
Mhm.
polygamy. It's not transparent. It's not
Mhm.
traditional polygamy. So it's
Right.
what I now call the modern brand of polygamy. Because in traditional polygamy, you would even say to your wife, look, I want to take on another wife, and your wife would even assist you in
Yeah.
recruiting
Yeah.
the woman who she felt would fit into that setup as well and be a
Right.
part of the family. Because all the wives had to submit to the oldest wife, the
Right.
matriarch.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it didn't
Exactly.
work. Yeah. So now
Yeah.
you have this new brand of polygamy that I'm seeing that's based on deception. It's
Mhm.
secretive,
Mhm.
um, and almost as if men are sanitizing infidelity by then calling it polygamy because they're marrying. And so yeah, I was intrigued because
Mm.
then you have these satellite wives leading parallel lives. But this man is the center of it all because he's the one who connects, who joins all these dots. Children are being born. Some aren't even aware of each other's existence. So in
Yeah.
this series, they were like aware, but in the book, it's not like that, right?
Yeah.
So that's where the inspiration came. So as now I'm writing this book, other issues obviously came up,
Yeah.
but that was really where it began. I mean, I was like, it was intriguing for me, like
Right.
that, this little setup can exist, and
Yeah. 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 I think one of the things that probably as writers is yes, you write, but then your story being reimagined for for visual, it becomes a whole
Mhm.
different animal. Looking at the performances
Exactly.
by these actors in the Polygamist for Netflix, did they capture the essence of what you wanted to portray? How did they do? How would you rate them?
No, I thought the acting was excellent, to be honest.
Mm,
I mean, both Gugu Gumede, who plays
mm,
Joyce, and Stumo Mchali, who plays Jonasi. I
yeah.
mean, like Jonasi looked up, his character felt like me. He woke up from the page and walked onto the screen because
Mm,
they really they didn't change anything with that. That's what it would be like, right?
mm,
I mean, with
mm,
Gugu's character, obviously they played around with it in terms of
mm,
a portrayal, slightly different to what I had, built on the
mm,
page. But she
mm,
still carried off that character with finesse.
mm,
So
mm,
for me,
mm,
you had two strong lead characters,
mm,
and the whole cast. In fact, the whole, even beyond the leads, everyone
mm.
came to the party.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the thing is, filmmaking is a collaborative thing. You could have a
Hmm.
great story, but if you have bad actors, you're gonna have a bad production. So
Yes,
for me,
yeah,
they had a
yeah.
great story. They had a great cast.
Hmm.
The production, everyone, cast, crew, everyone came to the party. And I
Hmm.
think this is
Hmm.
testament to that because
Hmm.
it's now number two in how many countries?
Oh
The top
man,
two, number two globally in a
it's
lot of countries.
it's
So
globally.
it's a
I was gonna
testament.
say, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
global, and
it's
which takes
global.
me to my next question. African storytelling for years we've you know spent it on Hollywood telling our stories, but in the past few years we've really recaptured our stories, and platforms like Netflix
Absolutely.
are hunting us down to make sure we lead in that storytelling. As an author, what does this moment mean for African writers whose stories remain untold and need the global universe?
It's a huge moment for us African writers, especially in the deep south, as I like to call it. You
Right.
know, writers from Southern Africa tend to be ignored.
Hmm.
Unless you're an African who's published
Right.
in overseas,
Yeah.
your stories really get traction. Our books don't really get traction. It's easier for the West to sell their stories downwards. Their
Right.
stories travel down to us, right?
Right.
But for us to get our stories traveling upwards to the
Hmm.
rest of the world, it really happens. You'll get one or two
Hmm.
deals here, but we never really get that visibility and traction. So for
Hmm.
me, this is a triumph,
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
is showing us that there's talent, our
Hmm.
stories matter, you
Hmm.
know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they can be amplified to the rest of the world. And it's put me on the map as a writer. I mean,
Yeah.
before this show, June 12th, many people didn't even know there's a Sue Nyathi who existed.
Uh,
But it's
trust,
not
yeah,
it's not
trust
just
me.
what
Yeah, a
yeah,
lot of people didn't know, and they're still struggling
yeah,
that it's a Sue Nyathi from Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe. Yeah.
They- yeah, it's amazing
Yeah.
how this
Yeah.
has just blown off just like that.
Yeah.
Everyone in Hollywood, they're talking about this as well. So it's interesting. So in terms
Yeah.
of,
And
I
I
mean,
think,
yeah, go on, go ahead.
yeah, just to add,
Hmm.
because now it's not just going to be about me. They're going to
Hmm.
come and look, what else is there? What
Exactly.
else have we
Yeah.
overlooked? They're
Yeah.
going to mine down this side. And which that's
Mm.
what I'm saying. The doors is not just open for me, but everyone who's
Mm.
writing in Southern Africa,
In
and that
Southern
our stories
Africa,
valid
yeah.
and that our voices matter. So
Yeah.
for me, it's a coup for everyone here.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, The Polygamist is not the only book you've written.
Yes.
Gold Diggers, Family Affair, and Angels, the Nice. What will be our next Netflix here?
I have no idea. You know,
Which
you
one would
just
you
have to
want
watch the
told?
space.
Which one would you probably want told first after The Polygamist, if it was you to choose?
If I were to choose, I'd probably go with a family affair.
Mm,
Because I've seen the appetite for the polygamist, right?
mm, mm.
And a family affair also delves into families. I see
Right.
that there's actually an appetite for those kind of stories. And
Yeah.
and a family affair is a much bigger story.
Right.
And I think the producers could go home, go to town and back with
Yeah.
that with that
Yeah.
with that book. It's
Hmm.
also another minefield. Yeah, so for
Hmm.
me, if looking in terms of material and
Hmm.
content, yeah, that book definitely has a lot in there.
Excellent. I mean, we're rounding off now. Probably my last question would be just looking ahead. Um, how do you see your role in the Zimbabwean storyteller field evolving? What stories, themes, and spaces do you think you want to explore? Do you want to remain in this family drama type themes, or you probably um, try and venture off into other themes or narratives?
No, look,
Or, yeah.
all my books are different. So in the Gold Diggers, for instance, I
Hmm.
write about the story of migration,
Right.
illegal migrants coming into to South Africa.
Right.
So it's a very different dynamic,
Right.
because migration is a very topical subject as well.
Yeah, which is really pretty
In
much trending right now and relevant, right?
Yes, if
Mm,
you think of what's currently happening in South
mm,
Africa, and
mm.
then in An Angel's Demise, it's historical fiction,
Right.
where I juxtapose the history of the birth of Zimbabwe against a young
Mm,
girl who's also trying to wrestle with her identity.
right.
Um, and so I don't just stick. Yes, families are integral, to my
Mm,
stories, but it's not the only theme that I look at
right.
in my books. So yeah,
Right.
I do have like diversity in the
Right.
issues that I do tackle. But I've always been clear, I'm not writing dystopian work.
Mm,
Um,
mm. Yeah.
I'm very intentional about that to write our realities, because
Hmm.
hopefully I'm also see myself as a social, what do you call them? Not a commentator, a social
So,
anthropologist, in the sense that
okay.
if someone had to look at my books, from 40 years later, they'd
Hmm.
understand what was our society was grappling with. And for
Hmm.
me, it's quite shocking when you think the book came out in 2012,
Mm.
and still in 2026 we're grappling with the same issues.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
yeah, which goes to show, very little has changed, which is actually frightening.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. I mean, closing off this conversation, Sue, there's definitely a young writer there, probably stuck in page one or page two, or even probably published, but
Yes.
they're facing, setbacks and trying to have their stories probably amplified on bigger platforms like Netflix. What would be probably your one advice? Just looking at your journey to where you started off, uh, you first resistance in publishing. What would you say?
When
Hmm.
I left Zimbabwe, the publishing industry was dead. The
Okay.
rejections, I moved to South Africa and tried to get published here.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, the rejections were actually from here.
Mm.
Um,
Mm.
by the time I left Zimbabwe, there was no publishing industry. It was dead already.
Right.
So
Right. Right.
yeah, but I'm just saying, for me, it's persistence. You have to persist. Even if doors are closed, just you have to be persistent. You have to be passionate about it. You have
Right.
to love writing, because that's what fuels you to finish
Mm-hmm.
a book. It's what fuels you to keep going. I mean, for a lot of writers, they'll know this.
Mm-hmm.
Most writers cannot survive from royalties or writing
Yes.
alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
sustainable.
Yeah.
So if you don't have love for it,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna abandon it, because
Mm-hmm.
that's sometimes you have to write against all that
Mm-hmm.
adversity, and it's the love
Yeah.
that carries you.
Yeah.
And so I always talk about the 4 Ps, passion, persistence, perseverance.
Hmm.
I mean, look, the book came out in 2012. We're in 2026 now. You know,
Yeah.
you have
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
persevere like through
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
seasons. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it took a leap of faith even to leave a career in corporate just to
Mm.
pursue the writing. And if
Yeah.
I didn't have faith, I trust me, I wouldn't be here. It
Yeah.
really was a leap of faith. Yeah. And
Yeah.
Godspeed.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say, after having gone through a whole time in NAST doing finance and investment,
Mm.
and then I'm not sure if you put that aside to then go full-time author. That's really a commitment, and you have to persevere into that. But I'm glad
Yeah.
it paid off in a way, which is big.
Yeah.
You
My
are the
dad
talk
was,
of town.
yeah. Yeah. My dad was actually saying that he was so disappointed. He couldn't understand. He told me this recently
Wow.
that he never understood why I would leave, a
Hmm.
career just to pursue writing. He said he just never understood like what got
Right.
into me. But he
Right.
said to me, this is wonderful. I'm proud of you.
Hmm.
And I'd never heard him say that to me. So,
Wow.
sometimes people don't understand what you're doing or why you're doing it, and they don't
Yes.
buy into what you're doing.
Yes.
That's why
Yeah.
I'm also
Yeah.
saying, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Excellent. Thank you, Sue. This has been amazing, and yeah, looking forward to more of what you're going to release, or what we're going to probably see being adapted for television. And the world really is talking about the Polygamist. It's
Thank
not
you
even a
so
joke.
much.
Everyone is talking about it, and it
Yeah,
has just risen a lot of dialogue, which was necessary too, because people need to talk. A lot of things are happening out there. There was a lot of pages within, the whole story itself that were brought out.
yes,
People want to read the book because they can't believe you wrote that stuff, in a way. So that's another interesting thing about reading that is also just emerged, that we've ignited a desire to read again,
yeah.
and yeah, and see stories as they unfold when they go on screen and stuff like that. Yeah.
Did you see on Twitter someone from the Kenyan government was saying they want to sue Netflix?
Yes, I
They
saw
were
that.
saying,
Yeah,
and I'm like, I was like, geez,
I
this is the
know.
very thing we're trying to, yeah, it's
Yeah,
crazy.
exactly, exactly. Prophets
Yeah.
against us watching The Polygamist because it's so
Yes.
graphic. But what can we do? These are realities. This
Yeah.
is what the
Yeah. It is.
society is doing. This is what the prophets do
Yes.
too.
Yes.
We can't
Behind
hide
closed
away.
doors.
Yeah, we can't
Yeah.
hide away from these issues, and I'm glad they're being told and being amplified like this. All right, from My Africa magazine, we thank you for this exclusive, and we can't wait to hear more on what you're going to be doing in the future. Thank you for your time. So,
Thank you. Thank you,
thank
Nico. Take
you're
care.
welcome.
Cheers.
Thank you. Bye.